Chapter 232, The Entering Method. Most demigod rank experts have a high level of comprehension towards law energy, and they only lacked an opportunity that would let them slip into the realm of spiritual god rank. After being suppressed by the law, there might not even be one person among thousands of demigod rank experts who will succeed in ranking up. However, if they were able to obtain a piece of a broken divine spark, the situation would be entirely different. They might be able to become an immortal spiritual god upon emerging with the divine spark. A huge skeleton before them had eyes burning with scarlet flames, giving off a kind of strange, suffocating pressure. And the ever-changing sharp bone spikes sent chills through their hearts. The skeleton didn't make any movements and floated silently in place. Meanwhile, an extremely sinister and frightening aura was emitting from the enormous tomb below. There were broken divine sparks on the body of the skeleton. Could it be that one of the buried in the tomb was? These demigod rank experts' eyes blazed with passion and nervousness. The god of death is an ancient spiritual god. Who knows what kind of treasures were left behind? Neely and his group stood several hundred meters away. He raised his head and saw the huge tomb, and his eyes displayed an utter shock. Xiao Yu's eyes flickered with a chilly trace. Neely looked at Xiao Yu and asked, "I never imagined there would be a tomb concealed in the first layer." "Brother Xiao Yu, what are you planning to do about it?" "Brother Neely, do you have any interest in going on exploration with me?" Xiao Yu said as he laughed. Neely pondered for a moment and said, "No problem. We can't take Xiao, Xian and Ninger with us. However, if I leave them here, I'm concerned that they might encounter danger." "Neely, are you planning to enter the tomb?" asked Xian, furrowing her brows. "Neely, it's best you don't go in." Xiao Ninger's heart was also filled with worry. Xiao Yu looked at Xian and Xiao Ninger again, lightly sighed and said, "Brother Neely, to have so many people concerned about you, you should feel delighted." Xiao Yu said it in an almost depressed way, which Neely couldn't help chuckling at. Xiao Ninger said, "If you treat someone sincerely, you'll also be able to attain the sincerity of the others." Neely had selflessly helped others, and us, many times before. Therefore, he has obtained the admiration of all. Hearing Xiao Ninger's words, Xiao Yu looked at Neely in astonishment and laughed. "Treating someone with sincerity would let me obtain the sincerity of others?" Xiao Yu had an amused expression on his face as his right hand shook, retrieving a golden scroll from his interspatial ring and passed it to Ninger. "You two can have this. If anyone tries to harass you, all you need to do is take out this and show them. They'll definitely leave." Neely looked at the golden scroll in Xiao Yu's hands and said, "Is that true? You couldn't be using this to bluff us, right?" At Neely's words, Xiao Yu's face went dark. He asked, "Do I look like someone who would lie?" "Yeah, you do," Neely said seriously, nodding his head. Hearing Neely's words, Xiao Yu was infuriated. After a moment, he calmed his heart and said, "If you don't believe me, you can give it a try." No need for that," Neely said as he shrugged. Truthfully, he still had a certain amount of trust in Xiao Yu's words, though he had no idea as to Xiao Yu's true identity. Neely was certain that he was no ordinary guy. If he said that the golden scroll was useful, then there should definitely be of use for it. Xiao Yu snorted. If Neely intended to keep provoking him, he was going to get pissed. Drifting off into his thoughts, Xiao Yu couldn't help repeating himself, "A sin, a sin." Why is it that after he encountered Neely, his mental state would be so disrupted so easily? "Xian and Ninger, you guys should remain here for now. I'll take a look in there with this sissy. We'll be back soon," Neely said towards Xian and Xiao Ninger. Appearing to have heard Neely's conversation, Xiao Yu widened his eyes as he said in discontent, "Neely, what did you call me?" Neely looked at Xiao Yu and pretended surprise. "Ah, Xiao Yu, of course. What else can I call you?" Xiao Yu turned his head around and snorted. You dare to say it once, but don't dare to admit it afterwards? Looking at Neely and Xiao Yu, Nigga couldn't help laughing lightly. Since the moment those two had met, Neely and Xiao Yu seemed to have a barrier between them. However, she could feel that Xiao Yu wasn't a bad guy, and who knows, he might be able to become their friend in the future. Neely, won't you encounter some danger inside? Yixian worriedly asked. There's no problem. With Xiao Yu around, there won't be any dangers. You guys have also seen his strength. As for me, an ordinary danger won't be a hinder to me. Even if Xiao Yu dies inside, I won't, Neely confidently said. What did you just say? I will die in there? Xiao Yu glared at Neely. You're just stating a metaphor. As a cultivator, I try not to be so hot-tempered like you. It would be easy to go berserk and die from a bodily explosion. Neely looked at Xiao Yu and gave what seemed like a sincere warning. Death by bodily explosion. Hearing Neely's words, Xiao Yu's lungs nearly exploded from the anger. Only after repeatedly telling himself to calm down did he manage to recover his composure. I won't listen to your nonsense anymore. I'll wait for you at the front. Xiao Yu leapt towards the tomb. That guy has finally left. The two of you have to pay attention to your own safety and hide nearby. Don't go anywhere. If you encounter anyone from the nether realm, do as Xiao Yu instructed. Take that golden scroll out. That guy's origins are definitely not ordinary, so his name should carry some weight. Neely warned Yixian and Xiaoninga in a low voice. Then you be careful inside too. Yixian still couldn't feel assured and reminded him. Rest assured, Neely confidently smiled. Xiao Yu was simply too powerful. With him around, Neely would definitely be a lot more assured, although Xiao Yu's identity is still a mystery. He shouldn't have any malice towards them. Neely instructed Yixian and Xiaoninga for a brief moment before skimming to the side of Xiao Yu and saying, "Let's go." Xiao Yu remained silent and leapt towards the tomb in the sky. Hey, I still haven't learned how to travel on air, Neely yelled at Xiao Yu's back. Hearing Neely's words, Xiao Yu was stunned for a moment. He looked at Neely with a strange expression as he took some white silk out and tossed it to Neely. He then said, "Hold on to the end of the white silk. I'll pull you up." Seeing that white silk, Neely gave a weird glance at Xiao Yu and said, "We're both guys. Is it really that difficult to pull me up by the hand and to the point that you have to take out a rope of white silk? It's not like we're trying to hang ourselves." Xiao Yu lightly glanced at Neely and said, "I have misophobia, a fear of having my hands dirty." Fine then. In that case, I'm the same as you. Neely curled his lips. This Xiao Yu was indeed too weird. Neely took a glance at the white silk. It was roughly a meter long, and Neely's only course of action was to hold on to its end. Xiao Yu pulled on the other end, lifting Neely with him as he flew towards the tomb. That rope of white silk seemed to have silver flowers embroidered on it. Neely couldn't help making a weird expression. This Xiao Yu truly was a sissy. He even has embroidered flowers on some silk. But then his thoughts turned. These silver flowers might actually be the emblem of the Xiao Yu family. Neely secretly memorized the emblem and prepared to ask Liu Xiao when he returned to see if he knew anything about the origins of this pattern. Xiao Yu pulled Neely and landed on the tomb. They were only a few hundred meters away from the entrance. Above the tomb, the huge skeleton was still floating in place, giving off a terrifying and oppressive air. As one, the demigod rank experts all rushed forward. More energy shaped every attack and were launched towards the giant skeleton. Suddenly, a huge battle axe materialized in the skeleton's hands, and it swung the axe. The Lord of Death formed a huge shockwave as it slashed towards the demigod rank experts. Boom, boom, boom. Law energy kept exploding in the sky. Heaven and earth were drowned in devastating power. Countless waves of dispelled law energy strayed towards Neely and Xiao Yu. Just when Neely was prepared to take action, Xiao Yu slightly pulled back his right hand, and then pushed out. A palm energy burst forth, and stray law energy exploded in the sky, dissipating without a trace. Witnessing Xiao Yu's actions, Neely was speechless. The strength of Xiao Yu was simply too frightening. Neely had no idea what kind of energy Xiao Yu had used to destroy the law energy released by the demigod rank experts. However, he could be certain that Xiao Yu's strength had at least reached the demigod rank level. As to whether he had reached the spiritual god rank, Neely couldn't tell. In Neely's current strength, it was impossible for him to discern the depth of Xiao Yu's cultivation. The huge skeleton continued to slash out shockwaves, preventing the demigod rank experts from getting close to it and the tomb. With that skeleton guarding, you probably won't be able to enter. Let's go back, Neely said, standing beside Xiao Yu. Neely himself wasn't actually frightened. Rather, he was just trying to test Xiao Yu. Xiao Yu stared at Neely and said, "We've already come this far. You want to go back without going into the tomb? Then what can we do? Unless you get rid of that skeleton," Neely said. The strength of that skeleton was so powerful that not even 50 to 60 demigod rank experts were able to kill it. Neely intended on testing Xiao Yu's strength. Xiao Yu's identity was simply too suspicious. Xiao Yu stared at Neely and said, "Do you have any brains at all? That skeleton is so powerful that even 50 to 60 demigod rank experts can't do anything to it. How could I handle it myself? Then what do you suggest? Since we can't go in, why are we still wasting time here?" asked Neely. However, the truth was, Neely did have a method to go in. All he needed to do was summon the Shadow Devil demon spirit and everything would be settled. However, Neely didn't want to do so because he wished to see Xiao Yu's intended to do first. Xiao Yu looked at Neely and pondered for a moment before saying, "In that case, we can only use that method." And there was a subscript with Neely saying, "Shall we hang ourselves?" And it says, "In Chinese culture, suicide hangings are often done with silk." And there you go.